Howdy-o, folks. CR here today, and we will be discussing a particular person, Rob Clewley, aka Proud Liberal. And it's not often that I do a direct response about one single person, but this person really takes the cake, and we're going to get into that. I will say, though, I give him props because I don't think he's blocked any other fellow gun rights advocates, and I know he hadn't blocked me. My issue with you, Rob, goes more than just a mere disagreement on our policies. This is about your character. This is about you telling people like Carlton LaFleur that they couldn't possibly be in favor of their own freedom to keep and bear arms, that no, they support the KKK and stuff like that. I mean, you honestly want to sit there and pretend like Carlton, he being a black guy himself, couldn't possibly want his own freedom to keep and bear arms. Just the same as anybody else who disagrees with you, they must be racist to black people. And this tweet right here was the last straw for me. See, Rob, obviously straightforward, is claiming that concealed carry and open carry are forcing our lives onto other people, which it's not. And what's even worse about it is if you click on the tweet that he's quoting, well, she's basically going after this woman who is saying that it's okay for men not to want to sleep with trans women. This is obviously a false comparison. Rob, because you don't get to sit there and tell people they can't carry a firearm is not the same thing as somebody not wanting to sleep with a trans person. You see, it's about the choices you make for yourself, not for other people. If you were responding to, say, an evangelical who said that gay marriage or gay pride marches were forcing the gay lifestyle on other people, then you might have a point. And even then, you'd be way off base. You would have to take that sort of evangelical response and place it with a comment such as mass public religious events are forcing religion on other people. And after that, then you would have an apples to apples comparison on that. You have an actual argument there, but you're not doing that, and that's not what you're responding to. Now, while I got him up here, though, I'm going to go point by point on your little goals. Reinstate and expand the assault weapons ban. Well, Rob, you've been explained several times that the term assault weapons is a nebulous term, doesn't have any real technical definition, and the fact that you're saying expand it just goes to show that you yourself understand it's a nebulous term. Furthermore, you've been explained to how that ban didn't do anything to stop firearm-related deaths. Ban high-capacity magazines. Well, Rob, you've already been explained to on this one that the gun controllers call any magazine over 10 rounds a high-capacity magazine. And it's not. They've turned that word into a buzzword. They've arbitrarily decided that, well, anything over 10 rounds is a high-capacity magazine to them. And in New York, they tried to arbitrarily reduce that number to 7 rounds. So again, right there, there's nothing scientific or technical about the term high-capacity magazine when you gun-sense people are using it. Furthermore, it's been explained to you that those limitations hurt people who have firearms to protect themselves. You see, somebody who's using a firearm defensively does not choose the time and place of the engagement. They don't choose how many people attack them. And not having enough rounds in their firearm could be the very thing that costs them their life. Registration, another hot topic with us that we don't want going through. See, gun owners don't want to have interactive maps published to their homes, like your friends in New York did. We know criminals don't register their guns, and yet we're going to be the ones registering our guns and paying the fees. And we also don't want the possibility of a confiscation coming or being possible in the event some emotionally charged bill gets rammed through. Expanding background checks to private transfers. Again, I've done a video explaining this, so I'm going to leave a link in the description to that. Stopping concealed carry reciprocity and banning the carry of firearms. Well, Rob, the statistics are out there. Concealed carry weapons holders are probably the most law-abiding citizens in this country. So again, your proposal to dictate to them what they can and can't have for personal protection is not only going to have a negative effect on them, but it's not going to stop crime either. As for what you call a ban on gun violence research, well, that's not exactly the case. All that is just not sending federal funding to hatchet jobs such as the Kellerman study, which was thoroughly debunked. It's basically so firearm owners don't have their hard-earned tax dollars going to pay for deceptive and dishonest hatchet jobs that the gun controllers call research and legitimate studies. You guys want to fund that? Do it with your own money. As for the first part of your last talking point, Rob, well, we already have domestic violence laws on the books. We already have a definition of what domestic violence is. And your gun controlling friends are just trying to expand that definition to take as many people's firearms away as possible. As for the second half of it, well, you know what, I already addressed it when you were talking about expanding background checks to private transfers, because that's what the gun controllers are talking about when they say the quote gun show loophole. Moving on to this tweet right here. Let's get real, Rob. First off, on marriage equality, well, guess what? Gay marriage is already legal, and nobody in the GOP currently is trying to stop it. Yes, the GOP was wrong in the past to try to stop it, but they're not currently trying to stop it right now. Immigration, let's get real. Nobody is talking about kicking all the legal immigrants out. We just simply want our immigration laws enforced. It's kind of like if I decided to make my own suppressor and went to jail for it, which can be up to 10 years in jail. Ain't nobody coming to my defense on that. It's about following the laws as is. As for marijuana, it's still illegal under federal law. And just like firearms, doesn't matter if the state said, well, okay, it's okay if you build a machine gun in your own home. The federal government wants to enforce those laws. They're going to enforce them, and there's nothing you can do about it. Maybe instead of trying to go and shit on freedoms that you don't particularly like, if you focused on legalized marijuana instead, you might get somewhere. But let's put it this way, Rob. You and I both know that you're not all about freedom either. You're not exactly consistent about freedom either. You want the federal government to come in and enforce your will on other people, and to hell with what they say on it. But I mean, let's stop BSing each other. Let's cut the crap here. Is meth legal? Is it sold in stores? Oh, it's not? Oh, how did you get a hold of it? And given that, why do you think any of these gun laws are going to keep firearms out of the hands of criminals, given the fact that you were able to get meth despite it being illegal? And this isn't even what chaps my ass the worst about you. It's not just your poor judgment or your inconsistencies or your desire to sit around and dictate to other people how they should live their lives, but top that off, you don't even know how to run your own life or manage your own life. You're on welfare, and not only that, but you have a GoFundMe page because you can't even pay your fucking rent. I mean, let's let this sink in here a second. You can't take care of yourself. You have your hand out. The taxpayers are supporting you, and even then, that's not good enough. You have to set up a GoFundMe page because you can't even manage the money that the taxpayers gave you, and you want to tell other people how they should and shouldn't live their lives, what they should and shouldn't have. You are acting exactly like a child, a petulant child, who the parents take care of them, and then you want to turn around and tell the parents what those parents should and shouldn't do. The way I see it is you have no room to talk. The vast majority of law-abiding gun owners are contributing something positive to the U.S. Treasury. You, on the other hand, are a net drain on the U.S. Treasury. And the fact of the matter is that you are in absolutely no position to tell anybody how to run their life. And in fact, The best thing you could do right now is to focus on getting your own life in order, finding a real job, finding a way to get off welfare and become self-sustaining. But you're not going to do that. So yeah, Rob, I do have a huge problem with you as a person. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now. People like Rob are not making this country better. In fact, they're making this country worse. They're living off the taxpayers. They're contributing to our national debt. They don't really produce anything, but they want to dictate to everyone else their draconian measures. They want to put their own will on everybody else, even though they haven't done a damn thing for anybody else. So yeah, absolutely. You should have a problem with people like Rob too. Thank y'all for listening. Y'all take her easy now. Have a great night.